All right, my buddy Tyler Meisinger says I should do this video. He comes at me with some recommendations sometimes. Almost all of them are great. And this one is, he said, hey, you should predict the NCAA finals for next year. I said, sure, I'll do that. I think I can do that. It's very easy to do because, you're very likely to be wrong. I mean, it's hard enough to predict the NCAA finals when the semis are set. It's hard when you have the bracket. So now I'm going to call my shot here in July. But at a basic level, you just want to have some solid foundational rationale for why you're saying who is going to be in those finals. And I'll try to give you that for every single weight class, starting with 125 pounds. And I think this combines two people. I've got Vince Robinson versus Luke Lillidahl. In my opinion, that will be the NCAA final for next year. Now, why do I say Vince Robinson? Well, he just won this weight a year ago. He's coming into his own. He was a freshman NCAA champion last year. He's at an amazing program in NC State. Can factor in a little more improvement there, even though he was great a year ago. He still can find some more consistency. He was not an undefeated national champion. He took some losses throughout the season. Now I think he'll be a year better and a year more dangerous. And then Luke Lillidahl, I think, through the course of the season, it felt like maybe he was the best guy, especially when he won Big Tens. He beat Matt Ramos, who was the consensus number one. And you're like, okay, Luke Lillidahl, he's going to do it. And then he got upset by Sheldon Seymour. But I think for Luke, year two, true sophomore season, a lot of it, good learning experience. I think he's kind of a safe pick to make the finals next year. Now, is he the favorite? I don't know. You look at this guy's freestyle resume, and he's not just one of the best in the country. He's truly a top 5 or 6 guy in the world at 57 kilograms. So that's why I think 125, Vince Robinson versus Luke Lillidahl. 133. I just did a video breaking down 133 pounds, why I think this is the deepest weight class in NCAA wrestling. Make sure you go check it out. But I'll say this. Usually if the returning finalists are both back, it's easy to say, okay, it'll probably be that again. And I don't think either will, right? That's not going to be my prediction anyway. I think it's very obvious that Lucas Bird can win another national title. It's very obvious. I mean, Drake Ayala has been in the finals the last 2 years. If he makes it a third straight year, no one's going to be surprised. But Ryan Crookham, Lehigh, what he did 2 years ago, beating Vito Arujau twice, only losing one match as a redshirt freshman, I think he's going to be in the finals. And then maybe it's a long shot. I don't know. I don't know how people are going to view this, because on the one hand, we don't know if he's going to wrestle. We don't know if this is for sure his weight class. We believe he's going 33. We believe he's going to wrestle. And his name's Marcus Blaze. And I'm just guessing it's a better than 50% chance he's going to wrestle at 133 this year. And for that reason, I'm putting him in the NCAA finals. He could get knocked off. Better guys than Marcus Blaze can get upset at the NCAA tournament. Just ask Gable Steveson. But Marcus has a lot of hype. I think he's just going to be so hard to take down. I think when you look at Lucas and Drake, I think they're going to have a hard time getting to Marcus and taking him down. I think he's going to be so good on his feet. And, you wonder about Marcus on the mat, but I don't know if Lucas and Drake are the two guys that could really test him from the top position. That's not really their game. Their game is more neutral, strong defense, solid offense. And so that's why I say my 133 NCAA final prediction, Ryan Crookham versus Marcus Blaze. Now let's go on to 141 pounds, another weight class where you have both finalists returning, Jesse Mendez and Brock Hardy. And in this instance, I am going to say yes. That's my prediction for the NCAA final next year. Jesse Mendez is a 2-time NCAA champion. Brock Hardy seemingly getting better as he continues on. I think this weight class sort of lacks clear challengers, right? There's no more Bo Bartlett. He's graduated. Kale Happel's gone. Josh Coderhant's gone. So I think when you look at this weight class, those two are kind of the class returning. And really the only guy I think could potentially play spoiler here is Luke Stanich. And even still, a year ago, he was not close to Jesse Mendez. So I think it's still those two. So my prediction, not much to say. I think it's Jesse Mendez versus Brock Hardy. Now moving up to 149. This is a match we thought we'd see for some time now. But we haven't seen it since Caleb Henson's true freshman year, when he wrestled and fell to Shane Van Ness. And now we haven't seen that match since the 2023 NCAA season. Now, I think Caleb Henson versus Shane Van Ness will be the NCAA final at 149 pounds. I mean, Henson has been there 2 straight years. He was a champion 2 years ago, fell in a close match to Ridge Lovett last year. It's safe to assume he's going to be back in there. Now, for Shane Van Ness, he's never made the NCAA finals. He's been close, but he hasn't quite got there yet. He's made the semis, I believe, the last 2 years, falling to Ridge Lovett and Yanni Diakomahalis, 2 great wrestlers. Now, those guys aren't in the mix here at 149, but this is a deeper weight class. I think there's quite a few challengers in here, and there's some mystery, right? You've got Ethan Styles, a sophomore season. You've got Lachlan McNeil, very tough guy from Michigan. And then you've got Anthony Echemendia returning from injury. I think this guy can go with absolutely anyone at 149 pounds if he goes 149. So those are some good contenders, and I'm sure there's others. But for me, I am sticking with the 2 most proven guys at this weight class, Caleb Henson and Shane Van Ness, to make the finals at 149 pounds. Now, 157, this is as tough as they come, because not only is it a weight class full of really, really good wrestlers, but you don't know exactly who's going to be there. For example, I'm saying PJ Duke. I mean, some of these I'm playing it a little safer. Here, maybe I'm a little more out there, because it assumes that PJ wrestles year 1. And I don't know that factually. It's just a guess, because I feel like, and the reason I think PJ goes this year for Penn State at 157 is I think he's really big. I think this is the only year he can make 57. And for lineup synergy, you redshirt Kasak, wrestle PJ, then flip-flop those 2 until Mitchell Messenbree graduates. Then they slide in and it all works out great. So I got Duke in there, and I got him going against Antrell Taylor, the NCAA champion from a year ago. And can Antrell take a step forward? And it's like, what? Does he need to take a step forward? He was already a national champion, and that's true. But this is a guy who took some losses along the way. He lost to Ryder Downey. He had multiple losses to Tyler Kasak. And if Tyler Kasak goes, don't misunderstand me. I'm picking him not just to make the finals, but he'll be my national champion pick. But I don't know that that's going to happen necessarily. We don't know that with certainty. So I'm saying PJ Duke, but certainly not breaking any news here. Don't know, but that is my guess right now. So PJ Duke, Antrell Taylor, 157 NCAA final. Let's see if it happens. 165. I wanted to go a little off script here. Not with the first name. This is not off script. It's very much on script. Mitchell Messenbree. I think he's going to wrestle in NCAA finals. He has the last 2 years. He's probably the biggest favorite of any weight class in NCAA wrestling. And that was also true a year ago, by the way. And then he won. He ran the table with a very high bonus rate. But who does he wrestle? It's safe to just say Michael Caliendo, right? No one beat Caliendo last year but Mitchell. No one, from the podium really has threatened Michael Caliendo. But I think there's 2 names that could enter the fray. You've got potentially true freshman for Oklahoma State, D. Lockett. I think he's without a doubt a contender if he wrestles year 1 and he goes 165. And then Joey Blaze, maybe more of a wild card, but I think he's going up, and I think he's going to be fantastic next year for Purdue at 165. Now, we don't know if he's going for sure, but I wanted to go a little off script. And I think Joey Blaze is a name, he looked like he was a surprise NCAA finalist last year. Remember, this guy beat Tyler Kasak. He is very, very good. But now, getting a year to get a little bit bigger. His offense is coming to his own. His defense has always been really good. He's a great scrambler. He can wrestle kind of from everywhere. So I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it's Mitchell Messenbree versus Joey Blaze. Wanted to go out there a little bit on this one. So certainly Caliendo is the safe pick, the fair pick, the Vegas money line pick. But I went a little off script, a little bit out of left field here, and putting Joey Blaze in the finals opposite Mitchell Messenbree. 174, Levi Haynes is a very, very likely finalist. He's the number 1 ranked guy. I had a hard time sussing out 174, but I'm going with Simon Ruiz. We saw a lot of improvement in him over the course of last season. He was just a freshman, so you bake in a little bit of improvement there for the next year. I think Patrick Kennedy, I mean, it's tough to bet against this guy as well. Patrick Kennedy, very, very good. But I'm going with Ruiz at 174, opposite of Levi Haynes, where Haynes will be a pretty solid favorite. And then we go to 184, where I think this is like the fan pick. And By fan, I mean me also. I really am looking forward to this as well. I'm a fan of these two wrestlers. And that's Angelo Ferrari versus Max Machinelli. That is my prediction for the NCAA final. And though Angelo Ferrari has a very small number of D1 matches under his belt, he proved a lot in those matches, right? He had a big win against Iowa State, beating Bachman. He beat Dustin Plott, who got fourth last year. And he had a pretty narrow loss to Carter Starachi, who's obviously great. So there's a lot of hype, a lot of energy, and I think Angelo might be a great candidate to not just make the final, but potentially be a champion as a freshman. But Max Machinelli, this guy's offense, his attack rate, his athleticism, this guy was scoring so many points last year, tons of majors, tons of bonus point victories. And now with Carter Starachi and Parker Keckeisen graduated, and he already beat Dustin Plott, but he's graduated as well. It looks like it's Machinelli's weight. And I think the best challenger to Max Machinelli is Angelo Ferrari at 184. So that's my pick. 197, one easy, one tough. It's easy to put Josh Barr in the finals. He was there a year ago. Stephen Buchanan is gone. You've got AJ Ferrari also gone. So now Barr sort of remains, and he sits a pretty big favorite. I've got him going against Rocky Elam. I thought about going wild card with like a Joey Novak or someone else, but I'm going with Rocky Elam as the guy opposite of Josh Barr. He'll be an underdog. And for Rocky, there's no doubt he can do it, but we just haven't seen him on the mat in so long. You wonder how good, how healthy he's going to be with that long of a layoff. But I'm believing in Rocky Elam. I think it's going to be him versus Josh Barr at 197. Then we go 285. A lot of different directions you could go here because you've got Isaac Trumbull. I think he's the highest returning place winner. You've got Younger Bastida. He didn't even place 2 years ago. He was out last year with injury. But remember, this is a guy that won Big 12s beating Wyatt Hendrickson. He beat Lucas Davison. He is elite. And when he's healthy, he can go with anyone. But then you also have AJ Ferrari for Nebraska going up to heavyweight class. And he's already there. He's already big enough to wrestle heavyweight. He talked about the weight cut down at 197. And if you follow AJ on social media, you can see he has grown considerably. He said, I think 238 maybe the last number he put out there, but he's getting bigger. So my finals pick for 285, this is my last prediction, is AJ Ferrari versus Younger Bastida. And I think Younger Bastida might be the best wrestler at this weight class, but I don't know if he's going to know how to beat AJ Ferrari. And these two wrestled, seems like ancient history. I think it was back in 2021. AJ won that matchup. Younger's gotten a lot better, but I'll be darned if AJ Ferrari hasn't gotten better. And AJ's mind is kind of the differentiator. His ability to game plan and tactically adjust to his opponent. That's what separates AJ. That's why it's one of my most anticipated NCAA finals. And Younger Bastida versus AJ Ferrari. That's my last prediction. Give me yours. Give me your 10 NCAA finals picks. Before you criticize mine, which is fair and probably right, I want to see yours as well. Thanks for listening.